Let's just get right into it. Right now, there are literally more than 24 million Americans dealing with autoimmune disorders. 24 million. And you know what's crazy? So many of them are bouncing from doctor to doctor, only to be told the exact same thing. Hey, your standard labs look perfectly fine. Well, today, in this explainer, we're going to put on our detective hats. We're uncovering exactly why that happens and how taking a functional nutrition approach can actually expose the hidden root causes of all these frustrating chronic conditions.
Okay, I want to start us off with this quote because it's absolutely crucial. Normal is not optimal. Simple, right? But it completely challenges everything we're taught about standard health assessments. You see, those reference ranges on traditional blood tests, they're just based on broad average populations. They're designed to sound the alarm when a disease is fully developed. But being statistically normal compared to a huge, potentially unhealthy crowd, well, that's vastly different from your body actually functioning at its absolute biological best.
And because of those big, broad averages, you've probably asked yourself this very question: why do I still feel so unwell when my blood work says everything is totally fine? If that's you, let me just validate that right now. Your symptoms are real. Clinical experience shows us over and over that people feel awful long before a traditional blood test throws up a red flag. Our goal here is to play detective, searching for those really subtle, early shifts in your physiology. We're looking for the hidden clues behind your symptoms.
So this really highlights two totally different paradigms. Standard medicine, it is incredibly valuable, no doubt about it, especially for diagnosing a full-blown disease. But functional medicine is a different beast. It looks for dysfunction using a much tighter, optimal physiological range. It's all about spotting those early warning signs, catching situations where your body's systems are just starting to struggle. It completely shifts the focus from managing a crisis to actually optimizing your health.
But it's not just about blood work. We absolutely have to look at the physical body too. Over the last few decades, we've kind of seen the hands-on clinical physical exam fade away. And sure, new scanning technologies are amazing, but relying on them 100% means we are missing vital clues. Think about it. A scan can't feel if an abdomen is tender. A lab report isn't going to capture that subtle look of distress on a patient's face. The functional approach brings that back. It combines the deep biochemical data with really careful hands-on physical observation. And when you combine that biochemical data with physical observation, functional blood chemistry acts just like a detective's magnifying glass. Instead of looking at one single biomarker all by itself, it steps back. It looks at the whole web-like pattern hidden inside your numbers. It shows us exactly how your liver health is interacting with your blood sugar, or how your gut is impacting your immune system. And the best part? It often does this before you even realize you're getting sick. Let's make this real and see how it actually plays out. Take this functional health report for a 52-year-old woman, for example. Her fasting glucose is 90. Now, in standard medicine, anything under 99 is considered perfectly normal. You'd get a clean bill of health. But in the functional range, the optimal sweet spot is tightly between 75 and 86. So at 90, she is functionally above optimal. That's a huge clue hinting at early insulin resistance. And spotting that means we can jump in with early interventions way before full-blown issues develop down the road. Okay, let's pivot and talk about the true culprit we're investigating today: autoimmune disease. Basically, this is what happens when your immune system gets completely confused about who's a friend and who's a foe. Instead of fighting off viruses or bacteria like it's supposed to, it actually launches an assault on your body's own tissues. It's literally friendly fire. And this friendly fire triggers a massive variety of awful symptoms. We're talking profound fatigue, brain fog, severe digestive distress, you name it. For this to happen, it really requires a perfect storm of your genetics and specific environmental triggers. Now, to truly understand autoimmunity, you have to look at the gut. Have you ever heard of zonulin? It's a microscopic family of proteins, and it's a real game changer. Here's how it works. The cells of your small intestine are connected by these active, tight junctions. Think of them like the heavy gates of a fortress. Well, zonulin is the guard that regulates those gates. When zonulin gets upregulated, basically when it goes into overdrive, those gates open way too wide. And that leads to a loss of gut barrier function, which you've probably heard called leaky gut. And this leaky gut, it triggers the ultimate perfect storm, the autoimmune cascade. It happens in steps. Step 1, your system gets hit by something, maybe a poor microbiome balance or exposure to certain toxins or proteins. Step 2, this exposure prompts that upregulation of zonulin we just talked about. Boom. Step 3, those tight junctions break apart, completely compromising your gut barrier. And finally, step 4, Toxins and undigested food literally flood right into your bloodstream. This sends your systemic immune system into total overdrive and sets off massive inflammation. So how do we stop this cascade? Well, functional nutritionists use something called the STAIN model. Think of it as the investigator's ultimate toolkit. It's designed to hunt down the absolute root causes, rather than just slapping a Band-Aid on the symptoms. STAIN is an acronym. It stands for stress, toxins, adverse food reactions, infections, and nutritional imbalances. By rigorously investigating those 5 specific areas, practitioners can actually reverse those negative autoimmune symptoms. To show you just how powerful this investigation can be, let me introduce you to the prime suspect in our detective story, Tiffany. Tiffany is a 34-year-old pharmacist, and she was diagnosed with a super rare immune-mediated blood disorder. She was struggling with this profound, heavy fatigue. In fact, on her initial symptom test, she scored an alarming 88. And here's the crucial part. She was already on conventional immunosuppressive therapy, but her labs and her symptoms were actually getting worse. So using that STAIN model, the functional detectives went to work and found Tiffany's hidden clues. First up, stress. Working as a hospital pharmacist, her stress levels were through the roof and completely unmanaged. Plus, her sleep was terrible. Next, infections. They found a history of the Epstein-Barr virus. Then, they ran a stool test, which revealed severe gut dysfunction. Basically, she wasn't digesting her food well at all. And lastly, nutritional imbalances. Her vitamin D levels were sitting at 30, which is highly suboptimal. Armed with all this incredible evidence, they put together a highly targeted care plan. And notice, they didn't just add more harsh medications. No way. Instead, they prescribed daily yoga and meditation to get that stress under control. To fix her gut permeability, she went on a strict 8-week elimination diet, totally cutting out triggers like gluten and dairy. They also brought in L-glutamine powder to repair that gut barrier, turmeric to cool down the systemic inflammation, and targeted doses of vitamin D3 and K2 to close her nutrient gaps.
And you guys, the results were absolutely incredible. Over 6 months of just healing those root causes, her labs completely turned around. Her platelets, which are absolutely vital for clotting, they more than doubled. They went from a dangerously low 29,000 all the way up to 61,000. Her hemoglobin rebounded beautifully, jumping from 8.5 to 10.4. This functional approach didn't just make her feel a bit better, it literally, fundamentally healed her biochemistry. But honestly, out of all those stats, I think the most powerful piece of evidence is this one singular number, 14. Remember how Tiffany started this journey with a severe symptom score of 88? After 6 months, that score plummeted down to just 14. Her profound fatigue completely lifted, she was finally digesting food normally again. In fact, she regained so much energy that this recovering patient actually went out and became a certified yoga instructor. I mean, how amazing is that? So this all brings us to one final, really important question for you to think about. What hidden clues is your own body trying to tell you? If you're out there dealing with mysterious fatigue or aches and you just keep being told everything is normal, I want you to remember Tiffany's story. Standard normal is just a massive average, and it is rarely optimal. You have the power to look past that illusion. You can uncover the patterns that are actually dictating your health. So start actively listening to those signals your body is sending you.